I got my grades for my first term. There's a lot of people not happy with how things are being run at Elmhurst. I don't think I cried once. Hello, everyone. I'm driving home from the grocery store. We just got back from a pretty nice trip to Wisconsin Dells. We've never been up there before. I think Chris is making a video on our Sunshine Baby channel or our Small Town Family channel. I'm sure I'll put a link below about our thoughts on the trip. We stayed at a handicap accessible cabin. That was awesome. Anyways, we did a lot of stuff. We didn't get to spend as much time in nature as I would have liked, to be honest, but you know, 4 nights is just a long enough trip to relax, but not like a super long trip. You can't do everything. I hope we can go back to Wisconsin Dells again. I would love to stay in that same ADA cabin because it was just a great place at Mirror Lake State Park. But yeah, very relaxing. I watched a ton of Chicago Med episodes on the trip because I tried to leave my phone alone for the most part, but Raylan had a cold, and so there was usually a few hours every day where one of us had to be in the cabin with Raylan while the big kids, you know, did other stuff. And when I was stuck in the cabin with Raylan, she was feeling bad. She just wanted to rest mostly. I watched Chicago Med. Just discovered that channel, that show. YouTube kept showing me clips of it. Probably because I knew a nursing student would just eat it up. Anyways, I love it. It's exposing me to nasty wound-looking stuff, which is good. I need more exposure to that stuff so I'm not so squirming. But yeah, nice and relaxing. I don't go back until May 30th. I think is the first official day back of class, and I have clinicals that day. 12-hour clinical shift at Pana Hospital again. I'm back there for the first half of my summer term. So, but I believe Monday all of our classes get unlocked, which means we can see the syllabus, we can start to see the assignments and work on summer break, whatever. What is this break? The break between spring term and summer term, you know, it's a little over 2 weeks, but I'm starting it on Monday. I'm going to try to work on stuff ahead because I won't stay ahead, and it'll just give me a little more breathing room maybe those first few weeks. So yeah, school starts back Monday for me. It's been a nice break. Really, I don't feel overwhelmed right now. And the first semester was doable, guys. It was busy, but it was not crazy stressful. I don't think I cried once my whole first term of the accelerated BSN program. I can't say that for Portage Learning, guys. Chemistry made me cry. But yeah, it was busy. It was sometimes stressful, but it didn't make me cry. I feel a lot more knowledgeable from first term. I'm ready for second term. My biggest concern is that there's like hardly any break between now and December 7th. So basically from May 30th until December 7th, it's almost nonstop school. The break between summer and fall term is so short, and knowing that they unlock classes a week beforehand so you can get started ahead of time, I don't even know if it'll count as much of a break at all. That overwhelms me, just knowing how many months straight of schoolwork I have before my next real break. But I'm excited about mental health. I think that's gonna be a fun class. I always like learning about, you know, we've all got mental health issues of some kind. It's just on a continuum, you know. So I've always found those kind of things interesting. Adult Health 2 is basically a continuation of Adult Health 1. I have that. I have research and evidence-based practice. I have a feeling that'll be writing some papers. I can't remember what other classes I have. Oh, pharmacology, pathology, pharmacology 2. That's not going to be fun. I mean, I like learning about the drugs, but that's a lot of learning. It's probably one of my harder classes. I got my grades for my first term. I got a B in Path Pharm, and I got an A in everything else. So those are great grades, guys. I'm like super happy with those grades. My mantra for this whole thing is B equals balance. I'm a person that got all A's in college for my first degree except for 2 classes, and both of them I pretty much decided from the beginning of those classes it wasn't worth putting in the effort to get the A. One of them was biology. Wasn't a big science person. I'd heard, oh, this biology class is hard. It's so much work to get an A. I told myself from the very beginning of that class that, like, I'm going to be happy with a B then. And I ended up getting a B. Self-fulfilling prophecy. The last class I got a B in, the only other class in college I got a B in, was marriage and family therapy, marriage and family counseling. I don't know the name of it, but it was a psychology course. You know, it's probably one of the classes that I definitely could have got an A in. It was, I think, the last semester of my senior year, and the syllabus was very clear, and it was like, do all this stuff to get a B, do all this stuff to get an A. There was like, I want to say a 6-page paper you had to write to get an A. You didn't have to write if you were happy with a B. And I was trying to work full-time at that time, and I think I was married already. I was either engaged or married. I don't remember if it was my second to last semester or my last semester of school, but I just said, you know what? I don't need an A grade in marriage and family. I need to just get a B. So anyways, I like getting good grades. I mean, who doesn't? But I've been a student that has always gotten good grades. For nursing school, guys, I am not aiming for A's. I'm aiming to learn what I need to learn to be a good nurse. And if in learning that I do well enough to get an A in the class, great. If learning that I still only end up with a B in the class, I'm okay with that. So pathology, pharmacology class, I got a B in that. Totally fine with me. So I don't know, probably a lot of you are like,
why wouldn't you care? A B is great.
Just saying, like, as someone who used to get almost all A's, that's not my goal for this right now. My goal is to learn the stuff that I need to know to pass the NCLEX, to do the nursing jobs I want to do. That's my goal, which means I study for the tests. Even if I think I could get a B on them, sometimes I study more just because I think I need to know this better because I want to pass the NCLEX, and because these classes build on each other. So if I know I'm going to need to know something down the road, why not spend the time to learn it now before the test instead of learning it after the test? But all that said, yeah, I'm ready for second term to start, my summer term. The end of August, I will be halfway through the program. So that's just really a couple months away. Less than a year left till I'm finished. Second term's gonna be great. Looking forward to it. It's starting soon. I better get a head start on Monday when they open up classes. There's a lot of people not happy with how things are being run at Elmhurst. I maybe should give some honest feedback. I mostly have all positive things to say to you guys about Elmhurst because I think it's a great program. It's the best program out there for me, I think. I really do believe that. And so I think that's why I give it such high praise. But people who live near Elmhurst are not able to get clinicals close to their home. And that's because Elmhurst has some sort of arrangement with the on-campus students. Their clinical placements can't be competing with the off-campus online programs placement places. So for whatever reason, the places the on-campus students go to for clinicals, the online people can't use, and it's causing people that live closer to Elmhurst to have to travel further for clinicals. People aren't happy about that. Some people have had trouble getting clinical placements to happen soon enough, or getting communication in any kind of timely manner about where their placement is. That's frustrating, I'm sure. And I would say part of the reason why that's not been an issue for me is possibly just because I have been so proactive in trying to find the placements that I want. And I got some good advice from my own personal nurse practitioner that I see. She told me look for private places because they're more likely to be able to okay you to do clinicals there, whereas like a big chain hospital, and that's not the words for it, but a big chain hospital, you know, that has many different branches, to get permission for a student at Elmhurst to do clinicals there when they don't normally have an agreement with Elmhurst College, so they have to maybe go way high up the ladder. But a small private hospital or a small private facility it can be a little easier to get placements at. That was advice from my nurse practitioner, and I think that is very, very much the case. So I'm not having issues with that. People are frustrated that Elmhurst is very slow to put out the schedule of telling people what time their classes are going to meet, like the Zoom classes we have. People were frustrated with the HESI test we took just because they were trying to help too many of us take it at once. And multiple people, myself included, were having problems logging on to the test. My problems were mostly my fault, guys. I didn't read all their directions that were sent in an email to us clear enough. I'd read them. It's just there were so many things to remember, and then once you started logging on to the Elsevier thing and clicking and doing what it said, it was a lot to remember for me, it seemed like, on how to get this test taken and live proctored. Now that I've done it now, I don't see it being a problem the second time. But, I mean, I got a 30-minute late start taking my HESI test. I was flustered. I mean, to me, things happen. It doesn't put a bad taste in my mouth for Elmhurst, but I know some people are frustrated with the lack of being told ahead of time when classes are. There was a couple teachers this last term that didn't know when the semester ended, and they tried to give us assignments or have class meet after the term ended. As soon as people made them aware of that, they were fine. I don't even know if we got a grade on that one assignment that was due after the due date. I'm not sure what happened with that. If they graded it early or if they just didn't grade it, because I don't think they ever officially changed the due date on it in Blackboard. I did it. I did kind of a job on it because I wondered if it was even going to get graded. I don't know if it got graded or not. I didn't look too close. I just know I got a good grade in that class. I think it's mostly just lack of communication, lack of knowing where their clinicals are going to be, or their clinicals are further away from their home than they want. It does sound like we only have 27 people in our next term, possibly, just based on the roster for who's in what clinical group. It looks like there's only 27 people signed up, and we had 30 our first term. So we may have lost 3 students. I haven't heard why those people dropped out. I haven't heard if it was, they chose to drop out or if they were told to drop out. I do wonder, based on the average HESI score for our cohort for the HESI fundamentals, I do wonder if a few people scored pretty low on the HESI. And I also wonder if the nursing school program would have approached people who scored really low on it and told them they couldn't move on, or that they probably should repeat something, or I don't know. Because our average was right around 850, which is the national average, but I know some of us got much higher than that, which makes me wonder, did some people get much lower than that? And if you get a really low score on these HESI tests, it basically is a pretty strong predictor that you wouldn't pass the NCLEX, I think, if you do really poorly on a HESI test. And the school, I really do feel like, has a, hey, you're the customer, you paid for this degree, we're going to try to get you the degree mindset, and we want you to be happy. And so getting decent grades, I feel like, has been pretty easy. But I mean, if you can't pass the NCLEX, it does you no good to have a nursing degree. And if you get a nursing degree from Elmhurst and then you don't pass the NCLEX, it also looks bad on Elmhurst. Nursing schools get in trouble if they can get put on probation, they can get their accreditation taken away if too many students that graduate don't pass the NCLEX. And I think that's even don't pass the NCLEX on the first try. So, Elmhurst can do everything they can to help us learn and to help make the grading part not stressful and to give us all the tools we need to pass the NCLEX. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't look like we're going to be able to pass the NCLEX, it's not in our benefit or their benefit for us to get a degree. You don't want to spend the money on a degree if you can't pass the NCLEX, and Elmhurst doesn't want you graduating from there if you're not going to pass the NCLEX, because it'll look bad on them. So I don't know. I don't know if that's why those 3 people dropped out, or if maybe they just haven't paid for their summer bill yet. And so, you know, maybe they're not kicked out of the program. Maybe they just haven't paid for their summer bill. So that's why. I don't know. But, yeah. I love Elmhurst still. I think it's great. Is it the most organized? No. Is anyone organized these days? No. They're more organized than the people that are trying to get my daughter's ceiling lift approved. They're more organized than the people we're trying to get an eye gaze approved from for her. They're more organized than the public schools. You know, no one's organized. I don't feel organized. Anyways, time to bring groceries in. Thanks for listening to me ramble.